Right. Let me know if you guys can hear me okay. The birds are all going a little crazy now. I don't know why. It is one of those days. Looks like it sounds coming through okay. I don't know what they want. They just got like their favorite food. They got their like little their mullet thing. And now they're like, hey, let's make lots of noise. What are you doing? What you doing? It's funny, you stared at them, they just like, sorry, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. All right, so I'm gonna start. I guess you guys are sleeping, getting some coffee. Buying tickets, but it looks like the sound's coming through, so I'm gonna talk. if it's not, oh well. Yeah. So non-farm. Yeah. Remember yesterday we talked about what happens if this thing kind of shoots back, that it was 3.5 and they surprised everybody. What if there was an adjustment, you know? Yeah. Guess what? It went all the way back. And the change was much higher than expected. So remember that like kind of like rally that everybody was talking about? Yeah, this is good, right? It's starting to work, right? And remember Kosh Gary said we're seeing absolutely no signs of a slowdown. And I mentioned that, yeah, obviously the Fed has already seen what the data is. They already know, right? So, yeah, kind of an interesting, I don't know, 24 hours. And again, all the markets moved up. Unfortunately, now, a lot of the trades are already kind of baked in. I would say that yesterday we were talking about if this comes in as expected, look for a short. Everything took off right beforehand, kind of showing you like, somebody knows. And this is pretty dollar positive. Now, again, does it change the trajectory? And I mentioned yesterday, like we've had some negative data, but does that really change anything? And the answer for me was really no, it didn't. I didn't see it change anything. I'm not surprised. Didn't think much was going to change, right? Because the Fed had said, listen, we're not going to just follow one data point. That doesn't, we're not really concerned about that. That doesn't really matter. And they're right. I mean, it doesn't. You don't look at just one. But now the question is, what do we do now? So, I would not want to be an indices trader today. There was all the talk of recession before. There's absolutely zero doubt that they have to go at least, and again, I don't think they'll jump. They've been doing 0.75. I don't think they're going to do a 1. But right now, again, things are technically getting even better, and they've started the race. So I think without a doubt, 0.75 is in. The big question was there going to be a pause? It's really, 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 did I say really? Really, 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 really hard to think that they are going to pause after the unemployment rate came down. The 3.7 was a great read before because it was like, look, it's starting to work out a little bit. This is the demand that we're trying to get rid of, right? But at the same time, now the unemployment rate is going back down again. So they said that they had to, remove the demand. The number of jobs isn't there. Right, it did come down. That JOLTS did come in at 10, but yeah, 10 is better than 11. But when there's only 5 million people looking, it's still over double. So yeah, this is not really what U.S. indices, U.S. stock market traders really wanted. So sorry, but we said it last year that this would be the year of currencies, and just even more reason why. Dollar yen is going to be getting flooded with money soon because they absolutely are going to raise a 0.75. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they do 0.75 and then tack another 0.75 on. Where we're at right now, and if you think about it, where we are right now, where is it? Central banks. Bring this in so you guys can kind of see it. Let's see. Put it right there. Let's put it there so you can see it. Right? This kind of gives you like a good look of kind of where all the big guys are, right? The big banks, right? If we do a 0.75, that takes us to 4. If we do another 0.75, which I think is coming based off of today's numbers, that is 4.75. If you look over here and say, okay, where can we put our money, right? And you got to say, okay, the U.S. is 3.25, right? The other big country down here, New Zealand, again, it's not one of the biggest, but it's one of the bigger ones, and they're kind of full blown. They're pedal to the floor as well. They're at 3.5, but where else are you going to get some money? Australia, 2.6, no. Chile, South Korea, you're not worrying about those. Brazil, absolutely not. The pound, even though they've done more raises than us, they're doing 0.25s, and they finally went to 0.5, 2.25. No, take the extra percentage point. Canada, They're a little behind, but I don't think Canada is going to be able to go lockstep. 0.75 is going to be a lot. China, you going to put your money there? Nope, they're going on the downside because they've been lowering it. Czech Republic, not the risky, not the safest thing in the world. Not 0.8, no. 1.25 in the ECB, nope. Right? Hungary, nope. India, nope. Indonesia, already on the way down as well. Nope. Israel, obviously not. Japan. Obviously, this is where the carry trade's going against, right? You're taking the differential. No, New Zealand's there. Norway, no. Poland, probably not. Not really. They're going up, but again, a lot more risk in that one. Russia, can't do it, even if you wanted to. Right? Saudi Arabia, nope. South Africa, nope. Sweden, nope. Switzerland, absolutely not. Turkey, good luck. Even though it's 12, you can see it's coming back down again, and they're saying that this could get up to like just insane rates. But Turkey's all over the place. So yeah, you definitely do not want to put your money in any Turkish currencies. But just goes to show you that 0.75, the next raise has major implications. Major. I don't know if you guys can. I think you guys can see it. Major implications over here, and again, these are the big central banks. All right. So, with that said, am I surprised that these are all in the red? No. And there'll be a bit of a washout. People will be trying to get short this one right away. It's just, yeah, it's just a little nuts. So, CAD data. CAD data was actually really good. The unemployment rate went down. Employment change went up. Again, you're seeing that one is mostly flat there. And again, there's a bit of a retracement in the last 60 minutes because there was some pre-positioning going on here. I think this grid is great for the CAD. Again, still higher than ours, as you would expect. Again, their economy is not as resilient as we are. With oil raising, though, again, it puts them in a good situation with the prices of oil going higher and the unemployment rate coming down. It means that they can also substantiate a couple more raises, which means, again, that means the CAD yen is really starting to come into play as far as another currency. Because, again, remember, a lot of the U.S. releases and CAD releases are at the same time. CAD yen is one of those ones where if we know that the yen is, right, staying at zero or minus, right, if we know that this is all the way down and CAD is 325, if they do another raise again, that gives us another option here to be able to take advantage of another move that doesn't involve the U.S. dollar. Okay, so it gives us a little bit more flexibility there. Now, what sucks about this is, and again, there's no other way to say it, it sucks. The average earnings came in as exactly as expected, which is, again, falling behind inflation. And they said we haven't even peaked yet. Non-farm number, again, great. More people are getting jobs. You would say, look at this and say, this is awesome. More people are getting jobs. This is perfect. This is exactly what we want. Under normal circumstances, you are 100% correct. But, again, we're not really under normal circumstances, right? We're at crazy levels, and they're saying that it hasn't even peaked yet. So, yeah, it's kind of like, what do we do with that? Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Yeah. So unemployment rate coming down. Again, they talked about going to 4.6 is what we're going to need for inflation to stop. They said that the inflationary pressures were all still there. And again, going back down to 3.5 shows us. Now, other news in there. This is pretty interesting too, that it was unanimous that they were going to do the cut. And this is OPEC plus. Right, and the unanimous the group move ahead. OPEC Plus group's 23 members. How you can get 23 countries to vote all at the same time, right? Unanimous decision. 23 nations, right? 23 members all agreed to the same thing, and the cut will extend through the end of 2023. Yeah. That's interesting if you think about it, right? They are already forecasting basically a recession all the way to 2023. We got the Fed saying rate cuts in 23. No. Where are you guys getting that from? So, yeah, this is, yeah. Rate cuts all the way through. And again, remember, they would like to kind of completely get Russia out of the energy market, right? Which, again, not going to happen. But that's what Europe and, the current administration is like, hey, we're just going to write them out of the market. Yeah, we're just not going to do it. Price cap and everything. Yeah, so they got 23 nations to agree on something. I'll tell you right now, you can put 23 people in a room and ask them if it's, if the sky is blue or teal, and you're not going to get 23 people to agree on it. You could ask them if it's black or white, and you're not going to get them all to agree on it. So, yeah, I love this. Central bank won't tolerate above target inflation. Yeah. It's above 3. It's clearly too high. Yep, we're not going to tolerate it. You did for 2 years. So I love when they talk tough. Didn't look too good. All right. Very likely the global central banks waited too long. Really? Tell me something we haven't talked about for 2 years now. It's very likely that we waited too long. Right. This guy, Jordan, right now. This is like sitting at that Dr. Evil, the Austin Powers when Dr. Evil sits with all his henchmen and they have that conversation. That's exactly what Jordan's comments are. It's very likely, right? We're going to call it Preparation H, right? That's exactly what this guy is right now. He's at the table with, Dr. Evil. Best case scenario, right? Or the base case is that we'll avoid it. It's nice to talk that way, but I don't think you can. You've missed so much. Gentlemen, welcome to my underground lair. That's exactly what that is, right? The best case is we'll be okay. Right. You're done. You're smoked, dude. Yeah. I love this. There's so many different, however difficult the consequences might be different. For our economy, we must stay on course. Must stay the course. Yeah. I mean, just so we can start moving on. Nothing on, Saturday, nothing on Sunday, and then Monday we start with Bernard speaking. But again, where's she speaking? Business economics annual meeting in Chicago. Again, I'm shocked she's even orange. It's funny when they make comments like that. Just because it's like, again, these guys are way smarter than me. They have much higher degrees than I am. They probably have IQs double mine, right? I mean, they have the education, they have the experience in the banking system in the central banks. Like, how is it that I knew it was not going to be transitory inflation, but yet every one of these central banks is like, well, we kind of messed it up. We thought it would be more transient than it was. Like, I don't know. It just goes back to that whole conversation between like book smart and street smart, right? I just feel like, the writing was just there. How could you not know it was not going to be transient? We'd seen it in the past. We knew what inflation does. What they were looking at that obviously they could see more than I could, right? But what was it that they were looking at that they were all like, it's transient. It's going to come back, right? Like, I don't know. Maybe they're that much. I don't know. Maybe they are that much dumber than I am, right? We'll just tell them it's transient. They'll believe it. I don't know. Right? It's smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Right. I feel like that's what we're dealing with, right? Yellen's like, tell them it's transient. They'll never understand. Yeah, they'll believe it. I feel at this point, it's just, the way that the transparency exists and the way that information is out there, I don't know. And then the question I have for you guys is if they are that dumb, thinking that people didn't, that everybody believed it was really transient, how much BS have they been feeding us over the last 20 years before information was as available as it is now, right? How much BS have we been fed that hasn't been true, right? Don't want to be the tinfoil hat guy, but come on. Really? Nobody believed it. For 2 years, I've been saying this whole transit thing. I'm like, it's not transient. It's going to stay. It's going to stay. It's going to stay. It's coming. It's going. Yep. Yeah. So, what are you going to do? All right, let's get into this. VIX. Obviously, the VIX has popped up. Non-farm's a big one. Now they're looking at this and going, holy crap. The unemployment rate went down. Oh, Jesus. Oh, God. Right? Like, the memes today are real for Wall Street, and you can see they're already starting to accelerate. They're all starting to breach that 2 mark. Actually, NQ is already at 2.4. They're already starting to breach it. The memes are going to be real today. It's like, oh, Jesus, what do we do now? Right? What can we feed that? So, not necessarily surprised this is high. Dollar obviously spiking up. And again, it was already high. The only telltale sign this morning was literally the Europeans shot it straight down and then it started forming a base here. This market's like up. Europeans got it and dollar weakness. It's like, okay, you're trying to go long. And they did, right? They came up. The half hour beforehand, the 8:30 shot straight down, right? Pulled right back into a level. Magically to skyrocket from all the way at 112 to 112.60. Actually, 112.80. 80 cents up. And again, we're already high. You can see, yes, price has been higher up to the 114, but we are so high at this point on here. This is like insane. And you can see the 50 did a little bit, 61, But again, this is not necessarily a fit-based thing. So, yeah, not surprised. And I would expect it to creep higher today. It's just one of those things. Like you can't, how do you not, right? And you can see now we're at 182 in ES and 1993, right, in Russell. So it's not looking as good. And magically, crude is now over $90, guys. Yeah. So Aussie. All right. So Aussie. Yeah. Dotted line was where the news was, and we were talking about if we could get ourselves all the way down there before news, it would be a buy. We didn't. The Europeans actually hijacked this one. Here's the 3 o'clock candle right here. Now I'm going to move the line. Okay. I am going to slide this across, right? Just so you guys can see it. With the Europeans, I said, watch what the Europeans do. The Europeans sent it up and we kind of put a new base in up top. And then we sat around there, which shows us that, hey, listen, they're loading this thing up. Boom. It came all the way down, smashed its 1 to 3 profit target, right? Cranked it, right? So again, Europeans told us what was happening. But we did say that we had buyers here at 63.73. Now, those buyers there, in reality, right? Technically, those buyers were a profit target, not an area to go long. But if you had long trades in there, you could have also banked in that retracement profit, taking about 40 pips on the opposite side. I'm not advocating taking both sides, closing down one for profit, turning around, taking the other direction. That's called greed. Those people get slaughtered every day. But could you have traded this one? Absolutely. Again, the Europeans showed us the way, went to an area of basing, put those tops in. It's like, oh, God, please come up. And then the green candle, right? I'll move this out of the way just so I can show you without all the pop-ups. This green candle right here was the 8 o'clock window. News, 8:30. Okay. This is them showing you, oh, got to pull back and grab that zone. And you can see right there, it pulled back and grabbed that zone. I'll pull it across so there. You guys see how it pulled right back up into that basing level right there? That was 12 pips worth of risk. Crushed it in one candle. 40 pips in the other direction and actually went pretty decently past through. So what do you do with it now? You look for it to smash into this zone again and start basing sideways. Now, could you take a reversal today? There actually may be a small reversal in this one as there is profit taking coming in because, again, right now, European banks showed us that, listen, you need to go short today. But it has been quite a bit of movement, right? Is there a bounce off of this? Sure. But right now, you should be done for the day, right? That you should have taken this one short before the trade and been out. And again, all we did was bank right off that target and bounce right back up again. So I'm looking for it to base and kind of start going sideways. And then next week when they start talking about what the raises look like, probably a continued drop in the Aussie. But right now it's really hard. I mean, we just got out of a trade, right? To get back into another one. Aussie yen did the same thing. Now, again, this was a proxy, so I don't have this one marked off as well. But we talked about having a target at 92.68. We hit it yesterday at noon, right? And then magically at 3 o'clock, I mean, again, this is kind of a day of education today. 3 o'clock drove it straight up, and I'll draw it. It's the same thing. There's your level of basing in the overnight. Right? 666, right? Right there, 630, all the way through. What happened at 8 o'clock? It pulled it back up again. Now, this one didn't get the entry in, but you could have taken it short here. Again, all it did was smash in, and it hit it. And this is 1, 2, 3, 4 should have broken. And guess what? 4 broke right there. I would expect this one to come down, and I want to see what it does at this level. There could be a potential reversal here and a swing in the yen. All right? But your target was smashed. Again, there were so many dollar-based pairs, you didn't need to trade the proxy with the yen today, but it has the same exact setup, okay? Euro-dollar. So euro-dollar. So this is how I drew it yesterday, okay? It did some basing. It slowed down, right? It came down, and then what happened? Again, we talked about, and the reason I drew the pivot right here was because this is where the Europeans stepped in. There's the 230 mark. Where's the bottom? Just happens to be right on there. Now, funny enough, I kind of drew it here. Look how close I was, right? And again, same base at 4 o'clock, 5:30-ish, right? Came over, 8 o'clock candle, drove right back up into the zone and out as well. Here, I'll move this so you guys can see the candle. So I drew this one almost to the exact point. I actually drew it to the top of the zone, right? And again, there's your pivot. I was hoping it would go down just a little bit further, give it to us. It ended up going right to the profit. We mentioned that we'd have buyers coming in at 97.73. These guys right in here, and that's what it did. It pivoted off those. So, yeah, I missed the bottom by a little bit. I called, the time was right, the bottom was wrong. Top almost identical. And again, this is a monstrous trade. In one candle, dropped 80 pips to the downside. Again, hard to do this after the fact because the trade just occurred. But again, you guys should have all slammed this one. I mean, we literally drew this yesterday. And again, I think this one does kind of push down. It's got to chop through this. I mean, it is technically through right now, but we know that we're going to have some guys coming in right here at the 61.8 level. Whoops. Here, I'll just bring it across. It's not dead yet. Whoops. I didn't want to take that one. It's this one I wanted to take and check this one across. So you can see right around here, right, we're going to have some problems. So I would say probably a hiccup. I would say right now, probably this is what's on board, and we could probably get a reversal, right? I think there's probably a reversal coming out of that low. I'll put it down here. Again, this should be your first target. At 97.13, you're going to have some hiccups, and then 96, 97, you're also going to have some hiccups. So, again, Pretty easy. Um, Not much else to say about it. I mean, like I said, we just literally got out of a trade in the last, hour. You should be done celebrating mimosas, Bloody Marys, all those things, right? So, going to the weekend, I like to see us kind of form new levels here. Um, Again, ECB is going to start raising interest rates as well. They are behind, not at the same rate as the US dollar, but I do think that there will be opportunities for us to kind of get into this one to the short side as we have it can kind of continue push to the downside. So there will be bounces, but right now, again, look for pullbacks. If you guys wanted to mark it off, you could, but it's going to be too late on a Friday. If we are able to pull all the way back up again, 98.05. I don't think I'd use it for a trade today, though. At this point with non-farm, people are going to be like, you know what? Let's just go. Happy hour at noon. Yep, sounds good. So yeah, back into the doctor evil left for that one. Euro pound. So Euro pound chopping back and forth. Euro pound really, really flat. You can see it's 17 pips in 24 hours. Where we were yesterday was right here. So really not much difference. And we talked about this 23. We wanted it to push down. It's really just still stuck in that same base. Really for next week, I think what we're looking for is 84.40, kind of a little bit of a push up. And we should. Like I said, the ECB is talking about raising rates and they're getting a little bit more vocal with it. I'd like to see it pull up. And I think that's a decent level. It's been tested twice. Same thing downside. We kind of need to burst through that channel. Right now we're kind of stuck and we're kind of wedged in there. The 50 is kind of in a level there. So, but right now, again, 17 pips in 24 hours, less than a pip an hour. There's so much better opportunity out there. So it's just not much we can do with it. But I did mention yesterday, kind of see how this one goes. You saw this one starting to rally forward, which basically says that, hey, listen, of the two, looks like the pound is a little bit weaker, but again, we're in the same spot. Didn't really give us a telltale sign. You can see the euro pound is down 0.04. So today didn't matter. They were all weak versus the dollar. And again, that's why you're seeing all the red across the board. All right. So didn't really help us, but we didn't really need it. It was a very obvious kind of trade for pretty much everything across the board. Euro yen did the same thing. So yesterday we talked about hitting this 41.70. Guess what? We missed it just a little bit at 2 o'clock this morning. We were close, right? Super, super close. It grabbed the profit target a little bit ahead, and that's what it did. It went right back up, and then now it's slammed through. So it's dead. What we do with this now, fortunately, we're going to have some buyers stepping in right there. I don't really like much on this one. I think this one rallies wherever the Sunday break is. Let's see. Friday, Sunday. Can we get down there? That's a good question. 50 pips down. We could run 50 pips in this one potentially today. Like I said, I think that we should get a little bit of reversal in the yen once the Europeans are out of the market. This could be a Sunday night trade. And again, not all the way up, probably like here, right? But this zone up is about 80-something pips. So I'd say there is a potential trade here. I'm going to put it in yellow and black so you guys can see it easy enough. Right around that 141. If we can gap into there or be really, really in close proximity with it, I think Sunday night there could be a decent trade here. Because again, I do feel that the euro is going to start getting quite aggressive. I don't think the yen, there's not going to be necessarily enough going on with the yen right now. Obviously a yen intervention, but that's going to require the dollar yen to go higher. I don't think that's going to happen until the U.S. does the official interest rate raise. I don't think words are going to do it. All right. So I think we got a little bit wrong, but I think the euro yen is going to have a decent setup. So Sunday night, I think euro yen is the first thing that you go to on Sunday night. Pound dollar. All right. So pretty easy, right? We talked about the bottom. This one couldn't have really been much easier. The bottom was the same as yesterday at noon. This is 3 o'clock in the morning. I said, watch to see what the Europeans did. They sent it straight up. They sent it into the 23. They sent it into an easy zone, a one candle top and a push. It gave us the kind of the old Harry Potter confirmation, the drop, the base, the pullback. The pullback occurred at 8 o'clock in the morning, right back into the zone, 18 pips risk, 62 pips profit. You're welcome. That one is out. Okay. Now, it looks like it ran into some profit taking right here. What I would say is the next punch through. Next punch through, we're probably looking for this one to break through the 110.28 level. This is one we'll carry into next week. I don't want it to break today. I kind of want it to stop and kind of end somewhere in here. I mean, ideally, what I'd like is for this to do is just come down here and then end there. And then if we could restart here on Sunday, and then pull up, I'd be looking at this, right? I think that would be a decent. I could see that happening with the pound. But right now, nothing else. I mean, really, for right now, we're so deep into this move right now. We're 126 deep. We don't get in the trades 126 in, but you should have absolutely 100% got into this trade. I don't care what strategy wants to grab it. I mean, it's easy. It's a couple different strategies. You could have grabbed this top level here and got in a little bit earlier. But again, we typically want to take the close one, and watching that pop up 30 minutes beforehand, again, it was an easy short, right? And again, 18 for 62 in the other direction. We're over 100 pips right now in non-farm trades, okay? But Sunday night, also looking for this one to continue. But it needs to end in the zone. If we turn and kind of bounce off this level again, there are buyers there. If we bounce up a little bit, may run away from us, but I do like, of the two, I think the ECB starts gaining some ground. I think that weakens the pound a little bit. Because like I said, I think the pound's got all kinds of, I think the pound is just totally messed up. As soon as we start talking about that 0.75 and not pausing, going 0.75, 0.75, and what the end of the year looks like, I think this breaks through 110, which is sit down here. And again, little hiccup on the 50, come down to 109.20. Okay, pound yen. Same thing. I don't care which one you want to take. You want to talk about the supply zone right here. Whoops, not that one. I wanted this. You want to talk about supply zone there? Great. Talk about it. There's your two hits. If you wanted to do more near term, you could have said, okay, I'm going to take it right there. Doesn't matter what you do. It did the same thing, right? Here's the bottom. There's the 3 o'clock candle. European sent it straight up. It ran into a zone already. We saw it. Drop, base below, pull back. So it doesn't matter. Whatever one you want on this one, we can draw it. It's the same trade in every single position here, right? There, 1 to 3 is sitting right there. You can see this one, I mean, its push was 1 to 5.7. So there's your 1 to 3. You're out. This one was 23 pips and 71 in the other direction, just at 1 to 3, right? If you were holding this one and saying, hey, listen, I know there's profit taking right there. That's where I'm taking my profit. Good on you. That's what you should have done. That's a 1 to 4. That's a 95 pip profit in the other direction. So, yeah, good on you. So right now we talked about 160.92 or 161 is the target. It needs to go a little bit more today, about 46 more. We talked about it with the euro yen, also yen as well. A little bit of yen strength coming back in. I think that's the target for the shorts. Look for a potential bounce off of that. Profit taking will probably come in. I mean, this area right now, this 161.20, we've got a couple buyers here, buyers here. But it's in a racetrack, so this is technically hit number 4 coming through. Should be going a little bit more, but again, news breakout strategy. Okay, dollar CAD. So dollar CAD, there you go. This one, European sent it straight into a zone. This one gave us a little bit of a hiccup. 8 o'clock ran us forward. Now this one kind of harder to take it short, but you can see it was a very, very quick pop up, and then it retraced, and we're kind of right where we were beforehand. The problem with this one in dollar CAD, yes, you can say, hey, listen, we came down, we made it to 1 to 3. You can see it pulled back again, and it is not showing it. It did make it to the full profit target where we had drawn this yesterday. Dollar CAD would not have been the trade to trade today. Okay, just so everybody's on the same page and everybody understands. When there's U.S. news and CAD news together, not the best idea to trade it because there's so many factors involved with it. You may say, well, the dollar's stronger. You're right, the dollar is stronger. But this is literally across the board. Strong CAD, strong dollar. You don't want to take two strongs versus each other. Two rams smashing in each other is not the best thing, right? Have a praying mantis and a ram smashing together. That's what you want. You want something that's weak that thinks that it's strong, right? Or an earthworm, right? An earthworm and a ram, right? You go strong, weak. You don't go strong, strong. So it wouldn't have been a trade. The same trade we set up yesterday worked out just fine. Here's that 137 touch at about 7 o'clock this morning. Came all the way up and tagged the profit target. Again, the top of the wick right there. So, yeah. Now, on this one, I do actually think that this probably starts to turn and roll. Reason why, and I mentioned it yesterday, oil. Oil is up right around this 89. It is right under right now, but it is up 1.7% today. Again, all the telltale signs about just everything out there. I think oil, again, redo that poll. How many people say between 90 and 100 versus 80 and 100, right? I think the 90 and 100 is becoming more of a reality. I'd like to see this come down. We're probably going to run into, and let's see, where are they at? It's probably going to be in here, right? There's a wick against a wall right there. There's a touch of it, and it's right at the 50. So I'd say, I like this one coming down, but I think 136.45 is going to be a level that is probably going to give us a little bit of a hard time, right? Probably going to give us a bit of a hard time. It just, not much to say about it. Probably going to give us a little bit of a fit. So, yeah. Fortunately, that's kind of what we're dealing with. It's a level. If you take this bottom to top, you're going to see people going, oh, there's a 50% retracement there. Yes, you're right. There is, and it's confirmed. So, again, in your shorts, 136.45. Okay. Dollar Swiss. So dollar Swiss, again, looking for a break of this one. It's not there yet, but look, kind of came up. We talked about 99.55, and look at the hit off of it. All right, it's trying. On this, I would say I'm kind of looking at this one for a Sunday night short, and here's why. We know it was really, really strong data, right? 8 o'clock drove it straight up in the air. The 8:30 candle, right? It drove it straight up. Didn't really give us a lot of pre-market movement. We pulled all the way back, and it was a decent run back, actually. It hit that level and pulled back about 35 pips, and is now grinding higher. It's already found sellers in there before. I mean, it's not a new level, right? There's the sending wicks in there right now, and we got SNB right here saying, hey, we are not going to stand for it because we know what we're talking about, Dr. Evil, right? It didn't look too good, right? This shows me that they kind of want to make amends, right? They kind of want to make amends. So could they go strong on Sunday? Yeah. So I'm kind of looking for this, the close. And again, it's not the smallest of zones. It's about 20 pips. I'd like to see it end. Let's get our vertical line there. Friday, Sunday, right there. I would like to see it end somewhere in here, right? I want it to end somewhere in there. If we get that, I think we could have some early morning comments before the U.S. kind of strength comes back into the market. We may be able to get a decent turnaround. So I'd like to see what the topping candle looks like. I think there's a short over here. And again, I'm still holding this one. We're going to extend this one across. We still have not gotten entry, but we punched it. Punch it deeper, punch it deeper. Again, I think at this point, I think the next one actually is what breaks it. All right. Unfortunately, I can't grab it right now. There. So I'm looking at this one when we come through the 98.87. I think that the next one I think is what breaks because we pushed it deeper and found those buyers. I think these buyers are done now because it went just below. So I think now we can get all the way down. So I am looking for a short trade here down to 98.44, and I think that's a next week trade. Okay. Dollar yen. You may say, what the heck is going on with the dollar yen? Yeah, I love this candle. Up, down. What is it? Is it the yen is at the dollar? And you can see the dollar yen is up 0.07. Right? Dollar yen, 35 pips in 24 hours, so just over 1. Yeah, it's going up, but I think I think it will turn when we see some yen strength come in from a couple of these pairs. We pull back down again. We're 145.25. I think the magic number is up here at 145.70 or 57 that we kind of pull the trigger on a short. There's going to be a lot of pressure pretty soon to buy this one. And again, reason why is because, again, if you're getting a 4% rate of return on your money on this one and it's going up, I mean, you're borrowing one to buy the other one. It's the perfect carry trade right now, right? Now, the yen, the BOJ is going to intervene, but right now the BOJ says, hey, listen, right now this is not really yen weakness that's causing this. And that's typically why they try to intervene. It's crazy amounts of dollar strength. And they're not wrong. I mean, it is. They can intervene, but they can only do so much. They can't battle the entire strength of the United States. The question is, does the United so you guys know in context, the higher this gets, it's good for Japan, but at a certain point, it starts to really hurt Japan. okay, it starts to really, really hurt them. So the crazier the United States gets, the more they are starting to hurt Japan. So I'm actually kind of wondering if there will be somewhat of a joint intervention in this one to help the yen a bit. Because again, do we want, one of our closest, our closest, excuse me, Pacific allies, do we want to completely destroy their, economic world? No. Because then we'll have to bail them out too. And that's a whole another set of problems. So I think there's some relief probably coming in this one rather soon. Don't know what it's going to look like, whether it's a joint intervention, if it's going to be the BOJ trying it again. I don't know, maybe the BOJ. The problem is, even if they do raise interest rates just a little bit, which is not really great for their economy, if they do raise it a little bit, they're so far behind, I don't even know if that's enough strength to kind of start bringing this back down. So very, very hard scenario. Cryptos, any surprise? No. And again, there's your basing zone right there. And there is your non-farm payroll trade with crypto. So, yeah. And the funny thing is, I love this. When this happens, I love it. It's awesome. Coordinates, 20,000. Look at that. The Europeans, look at these dirty, dirty Europeans. 3 o'clock drove it right into his own 30-minute basing level, little confirmed touch, and just happened to be at 20,000. Wow. Is it rigged or is it not rigged? Right? Sorry, but you know that little guy, right? You know that there's that the guy drinking the not Kermit. I know the Kermit one, like the drinking the tea thing, right? It's like the guy's like, change my mind. Tell me it's not manipulated. Really? They sent it right up in the air to be able to sell it at a better price, right to a complete gigantic round number at 20,000, which is a magical number, to have it go all the way down to about 19,465, $500 down instantly. Bam! Look at that. Ethereum did the same thing, right? Dogecoin, but I'll give it this. Doji, it's at 62. It was able to hold and maintain. Bitcoin is the loser this morning, right? Under 20. Ethereum, it's holding above 13. It's doing okay, right? And Doji, holding firm, doing its best, going to zero. And TLT, any surprise that TLT did not have a good morning? No. Nope. And again, if you could trade, wish I could trade them, cannot trade them because of wife. Traditional options, TLT, been very, 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 very easy to trade. Back to August, right? Started going crazy, and really, I can go even more if you guys want. Yeah. So, yeah, pretty simple. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that in your wealth accounts. Yeah. Question is, can we go much lower than this now? It's like, ooh, we're already at 100. Can we go lower than 100 in TLT? It's like, ooh, right? It's kind of crazy. All right, let's look at the commodities. Oh, look at that. It's back over 90. Yeah. So 88 yesterday. Late last night, we ended up tagging that. And again, had been hit a few times. We knew this was an area that was not as strong because we had there's literally right here, there's 3 hits right here in one day. And we know we had some over here too. So yes, it broke on its 4th hit actually, and then pulled back again to grab more buyers. And then punched up, and the 89.85, there you go. And we punched back again down to 830. Again, when it drove back down to 830, it's like, oh, here we go. And you may look at this and say, well, I don't understand. Wait, why is this going higher, right? Well, not that interest rates in general have really much to say with it, but I understand the more that OPEC sees that we're going into a global recession, they're going to do more cutbacks. They're not dumb, right? And OPEC is very, very forward thinking. They will do anything in their power to raise the price and make any excuse in the world for it. I mean, yeah, it's capitalism, right? They should. They're greedy, right? But they will. I mean, the Fed is like reactionary. OPEC, they create the action, right? That's why this is going higher. So yeah. it's there. So again, risky to take it a non-farm payroll at its top. I do think we do find a top with profit taking. People trying to get out on the weekend because they don't want to deal with it. Remember, the oil market does close earlier than the overall general stock market does. And again, depending on where you're trading currencies at, if it's at Nadex, it's at 3, which is the dumbest thing ever. It should be 5 because that's when really the market is actually closed on Friday. So yeah. I look for a small top and a little bit of a pullback. I'd like to see what some of the headlines say over the weekend. But and again, look, nice little pullback in. Use this old violated zone. Actually, it came down and grabbed this one. But yeah, so a lot of play on this one. Not surprised at all. None whatsoever. Now, natural gas is pulling back again. So natural gas, it did finish yesterday morning's trade, right? We talked about that 10:30 pullback, right? It rallied straight up, grabbed that at 10:30, and rolled all the way back down again. So your natural gas trade was in there from that level. It does have 3 hits now, so we need to be cautious the next time it comes up. And we talked about a little Harry Potter trade here where we had, some basing in here, a nice little pop off of it. Look at this. We chewed up all these buyers in here, and we're starting to push lower. It's like, Now, again, natural gas market, it does close early on Fridays. Not early, but earlier than other things. You got to look for this break of 667 down to 644. But is there going to be enough time today for it to complete? Probably not. It's probably going to run out of steam pretty quick. And we got a couple hours. You got like what, 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that. 4 hours maybe. So you do have some time. But is it going to give us enough of a base, a drop, and a pullback in time, and then still have enough room to run because we're not holding natural gas over the weekend? Probably not, right? But again, big day down, right? Big day down so far. Now, gold. Are we surprised that gold went down? Now, gold, interesting enough, gold did actually not move too much in the European session. Here it kind of went up, and then it kind of pushed down again, and then kind of pulled back up. I mean, from 630 and really even the 8, it did pull back up. You could have traded it and said, hey, listen, there's a level that we keep finding buyers, but it had been hit a few times and they were getting higher. Could you have traded it? Yes, absolutely. I said, regardless of what was going to happen, we were really kind of looking for a short trade. We mentioned yesterday, if the number was horrible and there was a big spike, sell it immediately, right? We didn't get the big spike. It ended up going down either way. And again, looking at the pre-market move, yeah, it was kind of the same thing. I mean, it gave you kind of what we needed to do at short. Again, anytime that there's anything interest rate rise or something like non-farm, we've been looking to get short gold. Again, gold down 0.86, silver exactly the same. We talked about a drop in. It did rally up, so I mean the Europeans did take it a little bit. The 3 o'clock candles here, it ran into the same sellers. You can see the same level. Look, there's a basing level right here, very easy to see. It's kind of, but it hit it like 430. So I mean the pullback was so small. I just don't think the market cared. It was like, there's so many things out there to trade. We're going to short all of them. And yeah, I mean, this is the right move. It's absolutely the right move. Yesterday morning we were sitting here and we're like, listen, if this deteriorates down, there may be a small term buy. And it just ground right back up to that same level and grabbed it. So yeah, I mean, not surprised that either of them are straight down. Looking at all these, Twitter, it's like, oh, it's a parabolic move. Yeah, it's a buyout, and it's already started to crank back down again in a couple days. Apple, also not looking good, and now we've officially broken through that gap, looking for the bottom level. And Tesla, still getting worse for Tesla. And again, Tesla's not happy about, getting Twitter. I don't know if you can only, I don't know. They just don't like it. So not good. Indices, I'm looking at them right now. I got 2 of them, almost 3 of them already at 2% down. I'm going to tell you right now, as far as opening prints goes, not really the morning for it. Because you can see the opening print happen right here, right? It doesn't really qualify for opening print because, again, 8:30 non-farm payroll. Now, how do we trade it, or how could we have traded this one? Typically, for something like non-farm, I'm more into obviously currencies on this one. But if you had looked, I mean, price is right in here, right? You could have said, hey, listen, there's a bit of a zone right here. I mean, there's the pullback. The wicks are kind of right there. Right there's the wick on that one. It pulled up. There's your 8 o'clock. With 8 o'clock spiking up as fast as it did, it's like, oh, yeah, they got a short, right? So I would say it's a short. We had a profit target yesterday we mentioned of 36.95. Obviously, after that news, you would have expected nothing but straight down, right? You're not taking that long at the open because the news was technically pretty bad for the ES, right? So doesn't really qualify today. The news trade ahead of it. Yeah, if you would have traded it, you can see it's well past 1 to 3. I don't even need to draw it for you guys. But again, seeing this kind of early morning base, this, Europeans right here. straight up. Huge pop right before the news came out. Actually, let's see how quick did it do. Actually, yeah, look at that, the 825. Look at the 825 is like popping straight up. Kind of funny that it does that, right? It was like woo, and then crash. So predictable, but no opening print, unfortunately, that we could talk about there. Same thing. Look at that, and look at it. Magically, we talked about 11,319. It hit 311, and then popped straight up in the air. So, and same thing. There was the one from yesterday. Can you see the base right there? Right? This is a big runner too. Let's say 1 to 9 on the first push, and then you're at 1 to 12. Where it is right now, 1 to 11, and it made it all the way down to 1 to 12.8. 1 to 12. 1 to 12 is right there. Monstrous move to the downside, but predictable. I mean, absolutely predictable. Yeah, so crazy move. I mean, 1 to 3 is only sitting right there, just breaking through the low. So again, easy zone. YM, same thing. There's a zone in there. Remember, we said if we got a big spike up in YM, we wanted to take this short. We didn't get a big spike. It was a small spike. But there's your 8 o'clock candle frame, right? Came up and then monstrous move down. Not surprising at all. Russell, same thing. Russell probably had the worst of the entries, although you could say, hey, listen, there's a zone. It was broken through with that, but yeah. This little guy's gone, and look at that green candle right now. What did it bounce off of? Right there. Your profit target of 1721. So yeah, I mean you got 1 at 2.5 down, 1 at 2.05 down, 1 at 1.9 down, 1 at 1.5 down. So I don't think there's any question at all or doubt that the correct play would have been short at the open. But obviously for our strategy, we're looking for specific rules. None of them were met. Not surprised that none of them were met, but none of them were met today. So not really an opening print day. I'm not even going to throw it into the data. There's no point. But all our profit targets from yesterday all got hit and are all providing some type of a green right now, right off these targets, right? Yeah, so it is what it is. All right, 10:22. We'll get out of here today. I mean, it's, look at this one. Look, we're almost at 91 now. All right, now I'm curious. Let's see. 92.75 was the last. There is a little hiccup here. I think the next short is 92.75. Well, this may turn it around. What time is it? 10:22. And they're really, oil is going nuts. Wow, can we make it the 92.70 today? That would be interesting. I don't know. If we can get the 92.70, I think that would be a decent short. Let's see. Where is that one at? Friday, Sunday. So we're looking for right there. If we could open up there, I think that could be a short. So, all right. The fun and excitement of non-farm payroll day. All right. So with that, let's go ahead and do the drawing today. So we got 8 people in, right? Debbie went crazy yesterday. Oh, look at this, Mitch. Good seeing you, Mitch. So Debbie, Will, you weren't here yesterday, but I just want to let you know, Debbie bought 3 tickets yesterday to get her first win. All right, 3. Debbie went crazy yesterday. She was wild. I have not received my lottery check winnings yet, but I feel like the drawing's on Saturday, so I'll expect it tomorrow, right? Debbie went nuts. Totally off the rails, right? Yeah, I forgot my ticket. Had a meeting. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, Debbie was off the rails. Debbie bought 3 tickets for 1 win. It was crazy. Things like we haven't seen before. Yeah. Yeah, she halted Ernest. Now Ernest is on a warpath. So, you know, Ernest is officially tilted. Ernest is like, that's it. And actually, Sean and Ernest were on the same page yesterday. They were both in agreement that, Debbie has now hacked the system. So there was calls for new bans. It got crazy. So, all right, let's close it down. Winner of today's drawing. Does Debbie steal it again with a 3, or does Ernest take it with his 5 today, or Nura with his 2? And then Eki's like, don't forget me. All right, winner of today's drawing is... Damn, look at that. You know why? Because I said Eki's name last. I'm telling you, Google listens. Google listens. I'm telling you. And it is a Friday, so remember, Eki has some weird, I don't know, deal with the devil that Mondays and Fridays are all for Eki. I know, right? And I said it too. I'm like, Eki's like, don't forget me. I only need one to win on Fridays. He does. It's Eki Fridays. I'm telling you. I don't know what it is. Eki has more Friday wins than anybody that has ever attended the channel. It's insane. I don't know. I have no idea. So, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. All those pip chips. And Eki only needed was like, yep, I just need one. So, good on you. All right. So, with that said, hey, Williams, the economy is slowing slightly. Inflation is very high. The Fed, I love this. It's kind of good, guys. And then over here, the Fed is a long way from where it needs to be, right? This is called a guy trying to do fair balance. Don't ever trust this guy, right? This is fair balance. The economy is slowing slightly. Is it? Is it? Really? It's working? A little bit? Little? Maybe? Right? This is why Williams is a yellow. This is why he's a low impact person. Housing is moderating. This is not a surprise. Hold on, I gotta see this. Inflation is very high, a long way from where it need to be. Sees positive growth and unemployment expected to rise. Yeah, it's good. But positive growth in 2023 means there is no interest rate cuts, which means, guys, get used to these higher interest rates and watch the housing market get blasted a little bit more. So I heard that prices were almost up near 7. Right? 7 is what I saw in the last news article for prices. All right. So with that said, you guys have a great weekend. We're out of here a couple minutes early, which is fine. You guys have a wonderful trading day. Like I said, you guys should have made bank this morning. Pretty easy. Europeans kind of showed us the way. And yeah, I don't even know how many pips that were out there for those setups. So with that, I am out of here. You guys have a great, safe weekend. I'll catch everybody Monday morning, 9:30. There is definitely some setups in close proximity for Sunday night, so I think we're gonna have some good action. With that, I'm out of here. You guys take care, and I'll see you soon.